What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Unplugged podcast. Today's guest technically is my boss when I'm at Knott's, but he has a long career in not only theme parks but also live entertainment. And the reason why I asked him to join me on this podcast is because he had so many cool stories to tell, and he's such a nice guy. I asked if he could share some of the stories he shared with me about his career in entertainment and also in theme parks. My boss, my friend, and experienced entertainer. All right, guys. Welcome again to another episode of Unplugged podcast. Today I have a very special guest. He's technically my boss when I'm at Universal, not Universal, when I'm at Knott's, and always a pleasure working with Tim. Tim, I don't know your last name. What's your last name?
My last name is Klega, Klega.
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 Klega. Okay, Klega. What is that?
It's German, short for von Klagen.
Okay. Yeah, Klagen sounds more German. Klega.
Yeah. If you want to throw in the German accent, von Klagen. But I digress.
Are you like how far back can you trace your German ancestry? Like, is it?
Well, I didn't do any of the tracing. My grandparents had done the tracing, and they actually got all the way back to some dignitary of some sort that had a big parcel of land and a castle, and sold it all and got the family out of Germany and to New York and the East Coast, back when everybody was, give us your huddled masses. Coming into New York.
You can trace your family from Ellis Island.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. It's always fascinating meeting people that
they shrunk the name down to Klega instead of
that makes
von
sense.
Klagen, so they look more homogenized.
Yeah. That was you had to do that back then. It wasn't like you had a choice. Like, no. You're Jim now. You're not. Joxco?
Exactly.
No. You're just Jim. That's your name now.
Just plain old Jim. Yeah.
But Tim, he's right now. Tim's really busy, so thank you again for having some time with me to talk about your life and career. Because I like literally right before this, you were texting and trying to take care of the COVID stuff. So I know you do some good work, and I also want to give big props to Knott's because during this COVID thing going on, like. Me personally, I didn't feel safe working weddings. Like I told my boss, like I'm not going to do wedding until I'm vaccinated. And then when the opportunity came up to work at Knott's, I was like, yeah, of course I'll work at Knott's because I've seen the precaution the staff has taken, and like better than like anywhere. Honestly, theme parks have been dealing with COVID much better than any other like company or store that I've seen. And like I've been to big name hotels that. During their events, like they're like, oh, we care about your safety and we want to make sure that you're fine, so anything happens let me know. And when push comes to shove, are they there? No. It's out of sight, out of mind. Staff doesn't really care. And like the thing I love about Knott's is that like everybody is doing their part. Like I notice it because even I go on break and I try to help out when I can. I remember one I think Daniel was my backstage. He's my tech that day. And he, even though he's supposed to be watching me and making sure my sounds are good, he's reminding guests to, keep their mask up and things like that, going the extra mile. So I really appreciate that. And during these times, like I feel completely safe when I'm working. I invite my family, like you guys, this is like completely safe. Like you can come and like, I trust the Knott staff to keep everyone safe. So, and that's part of what you're doing right now and what you guys have been planning this whole time opening up. So thank you for that. Because
thank you.
No, for that.
Two things about that. Yeah. It's everyone's responsibility, right? To keep everyone safe. And if you see something, say something, but more importantly than that, if you don't feel comfortable or feel safe in a location, you're not going to be willing to go there or come back again and again. So that's super important. And also it really is a huge sign that our company, that Knott's really looks out for its employees, associates, and for its guests, and really wants everyone to feel safe and comfortable in their space, wherever that is, whether it's working or just enjoying a funnel cake.
Yeah. And which I have, I worked and like I couldn't get tickets to the Boysenberry, but once the park opens up, I'll be back in there eating all the food again.
Oh
But
yeah,
I had to work, so I can't can't have
right.
Boysenberry stains. So I'm going back on
It's a little
stage.
rough.
I tried, like like my favorite snacks to grab quick when I'm on break are I love the Boysenberry bacon jerky. That is
Mm.
like addictive to me. You could pay me that if you want to put that in my stipend. Pay Katar in
Exactly.
in bacon.
It's
And
crazy.
then the what else do I like? The Boysenberry fudge is really great. It has little bits of Oreo, and
Excellent choice.
no one talks about it. And I'm like,
Nope.
this is great fudge.
Yep.
And then what would be my third favorite thing? I love the Boysenberry Corndog. That's like
Ah,
probably, yeah, that's a good one too. But there's so many like
so
Boysenberry things
good.
that I still haven't. Like I went to the one last year and like there's always new things. So I think that's cool. All the food festival stuff you guys been doing, like that's how honestly you bring people in with food. That's our culture now.
Well, that's how we started, right? I mean, we all
Yeah,
started
you're
because
right.
of the Boysenberry in a farm, and
Yeah.
Mrs. Knott's making some chicken for some people while they're waiting for their berries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice that it all comes back to our roots, and that
Yeah.
we're staying so grounded and staying true to all of that. And I also think that speaks to this whole pandemic, and that it in my mind, it has just been a gigantic reset button
Mhm.
for the world, but primarily, specifically for me and my family, and that it has really gotten me to understand how important time with family and friends really is, and how to not take it for granted, and that you have to, I mean, especially with all of the precautions and everything, now you have to take precautions just to run out to get quart of milk from the grocery store. You can't just jump in the car and run and get it. You have to get a mask, and you have to get gloves, and you have to get sanitizers, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, or all whatever your steps are that help to keep you feel comfortable and safe. And so to take that and do it park wide has been such a huge undertaking that I'm so proud of all of our entire park for handling so well, and all of our chefs for coming up with so many brand new Boysenberry things that have never been done before. So it's a great thing. And the fact that you haven't tasted them all is a good sign to us.
I don't think I don't think I ever will, because things keep changing and new things happen, and it's like that's a fun part. I think the variety that I keep seeing every year, like, oh, I know you can do the Boysenberry, I also love that you guys started selling, like, post COVID. The first thing I bought, actually the first time I went out of the house was to buy a Boysenberry plant. The first time I came out of the house was to buy the Boysenberry tree, which is still in my yard. It's growing, and
because you too can have your own Boysenberry farm. You could be the next Knott.
I can't wait till the fruit starts growing. I really can't. I haven't had a fresh Boysenberry in, like, man, maybe since I was like 10. And like when I was 10, my father and I found a small farm in Indio when we were just we were traveling. It might have been like a karate competition, but like we were traveling and we saw the sign like, oh, fresh boysenberries. Like, fresh boysenberries? I've never seen fresh boysenberries in years. So we stopped by. We saw a small farm, and the guy, it was literally a house. It could have been someone luring us to our deaths, but no, it was like this like little house off the road, and he showed it. He does try the berries, and they're little bags, and we bought like 10 of them, and delicious. So now it's like I want to have a fresh boysenberry, and like I love the Knott's jams and stuff, but I haven't had a fresh one in a long time. So I can't wait till those fruits grow.
Fantastic. They're so good.
Do you have any at home, like plants? Or
I have a small 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo with a very small patio.
Okay.
So I unfortunately, there are a lot of things that I have been very blessed with. A green thumb is definitely not one of them.
Me either.
I kill fake plants. I just do. I don't know how. It's just it's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift. So I just can't do it. And so I've never really tried. And it seems that every time that I go look at them, they're all sold out.
You need an Asian grandmother. Asian grandmothers have a green thumb. Like they'll like you could like be chopping up lettuce and then like,
Uh-huh.
oh, save this, we can grow this like this like from the market, and then they'll take it, and then you have an organic garden next year.
Well, you'll have to loan me yours for a
Yeah,
while.
no, I'll tell my mom go visit Tim, teach him how to garden.
Help him out.
I'm the same way. I'm awful with, like if it wasn't living, I mean like an animal, I'm gonna
Mhm.
kill it.
Yeah.
It's gonna die
Exactly.
in my
Like,
hands. Yeah, yeah.
not
Um,
good.
but Tim, you've had a
Yeah.
very lustrous career, because you've been doing entertainment really since really, I think, what, since you were how old?
I was 17, turning 18. Yeah. Yep. 18. 17, 18.
Was there like were you in like high school theater or a theater
So
production? What happened?
that's a funny story. Yeah. So growing up, I was soccer and playing sports. And uh I because of that, I would trip and fall a lot, and I found I bounced pretty good. So in doing that, I went, well, maybe I should look into this a little bit. So I took some gymnastic classes and got really into gymnastics, and uh, not in a competition way, sort of in any way, but just to um, be more athletic that way.
Mhm.
And I found that when I then also had an interest in theater, and when I would go to auditions and they would ask, can anybody do gymnastics? And I'd be like, oh, I can. And they're like, whoop, you're in the show automatically. And I'm like,
Nice.
oh. So it became like a key to get me in the door, to do lots of theater. And then I found that I really enjoyed that, and moved along and got, started my career that way. I think my first show was when I was 8 or 9, 10-ish, somewhere around there. And then there was about 6 years that I didn't do anything, and then started doing some local theater stuff. And then a buddy of mine was like, hey, they're having auditions at Disneyland. You want to come? And I was like, can you give me a ride? Because I'm not old enough to drive yet. And they're like, sure. And I was like, okay, great. And so that's what I did. I went down, and my audition was a very large room full of people being taught a dance combination, and we had to do it across the floor in pairs, 2 people at a time. And when I got to the end, the director choreographer, her name was Barnett Ritchie, put me in the no pile. And I was like, oh
Yeah, yeah,
man, oh well, it's my first time, whatever.
yeah.
And then she walked through the crowd of no's and pointed at certain people, and I did one of these things, like, pick me kind of face, and she did, and pulled us out into the floor, and we had to do a little something, and she asked if anybody could do gymnastics, and I went, I can. And she never had me do any in the parade, which is what I got hired for. But it was there was one of us. There were 3 newspaper boys at the beginning of the parade in 1983, called the American Gazette Parade. And I was so anyway, she pulled us in the middle of the room. We had to do this little combination, and she walked over to the board and picked off 2 cards off the wall. And there were about 15 boys in the middle of the room, and handed me one and another guy one, and everybody else was excused for the day. So that gymnastics got me in the door.
So are you, I think technically you might be Disney's first Newsie, right? Right? Like if you think about it,
Yes,
yeah,
look at
yeah.
you. Yeah.
You
Yeah. And in fact, the card they handed me, and I still actually have it somewhere, is newspaper boy number 1. In fact, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Yeah.
You might be Disney's first Newsie. I could be wrong. I mean, but those are bragging rights.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Newsboy number 1. I mean, if there's no other person claiming that title, you might be the first Newsie. The first Disney Newsie is right here.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
That is the card that Barnett handed me at the auditions.
That's awesome.
One blessing about COVID is that you're able to go through boxes of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was going through stuff and I went, oh, I know that card.
That's awesome. That's like a catalyst to your career in theme parks.
Yeah, so it'll be framed. I'll keep that in my house all the time.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Basically how my whole entire career in theme parks got started was because of this.
That's amazing. Now you studied gymnastics. Did that help you? Because you do a dance audition. So did that help you translate into doing dance? Did you do dance as well?
Yeah.
Or?
It's all kind of the same. It's all a lot of the same techniques, and a lot of the gymnastics really help with stretching and body conditioning. So I was always cast in a lot of athletic roles in shows. Lots of productions of West Side Story and that sort of stuff. So a lot of gymnastics, a lot of jumping and leaping and that sort of stuff.
How tall are you? You're about.
I'm 5'8" and
5'8"
and a quarter.
Okay. Yeah. You're like that ingenue height.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
I was
extremely high. Yeah.
I wasn't cute enough as a kid to be the ingenue.
Okay.
I wasn't the handsome guy. I was the funny sidekick guy.
Okay.
Which I'm okay with because most ingenues are kind of boring.
They can be cardboard.
They stand around and sing the ballads and that sort of stuff. And I wanted to
put to the scene.
I wanted to be the funny friend.
Yeah. I can totally see you being more that kind of smaller, kind of like a LeFou, or
absolutely.
Yeah. Have you ever played LeFou?
What?
Have you played LeFou?
Oh no!
Oh, okay. I can see that.
I was past my time then when that show came out.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. People working.
I'd
nowadays.
be more Maurice now. I'd be more the father.
Okay. By that point. Oh, okay. I mean, maybe I'm
not a bad role.
Yeah.
Super fun part. I would love to play that part.
Yeah. So when it came to working in theme parks, or actually just working entertainment, your niche was your physical attributes as a gymnast, and
that's what got me in the door. But then I found that I was very blessed with a generic face a
very castable face. I would
exactly.
Somebody you can cast in many roles.
Exactly. I could be thrown into many different roles. Many different, slap a blonde wig on him, slap a brown wig on him, slap a red wig on him, gray wig, white wig,
both a jet
whatever
and
it
a shark.
is.
You do both. Yeah. Depending who needs whoever came out, whoever was sick that day, you just filled in.
Yeah, I was ready to go. Put me in, coach.
So beyond theme parks and stuff, you say you did other things in entertainment as well, correct?
Yeah. So I did a lot of touring the country, promoting things, movies, shows. I've been to every one of the state, every state in the United States, at least once, multiple times, like Texas and Florida. So that's a cool thing to be able to say, and in many countries outside of the United States too. So
any notable tours?
Incredible life. I'm so blessed to have been able to see and do so many things. And I'm a lot of these have really trained me to feel very comfortable talking on camera or in front of people. So it's really blessed me with many things, many more things, such as like all of these days working at Disney, talking to guests. So talking to people is not a hard thing for me. So that then progressed into doing television interviews and that sort of stuff for promoting the things that I promote. And then, coming to Knott's, and, PR and marketing asked me one time if I would do, KTLA, talk about entertainment on KTLA one morning, and progressed to many years of being going to KTLA or when KTLA came and talk about the entertainment at the park. It's just so fun and such a blessing. And to be able to talk about things that I am so passionate about, and the entertainment that we have put together and are providing for the guests, no matter what season it is, Halloween, Christmas, spring, boysenberry, peanut celebration, whatever it is, to be able to talk about them is just a blessing, because I'm so passionate about all the stuff that we put together.
Yeah, well, I noticed maybe in the last like 6 or 7 years, Knott's has been like they've really upped their game in terms of like entertainment and attractions and just overall experience. Like there was a shift where it changed, and I don't know what that was, but like there was a shift where Knott's became less of a local theme park and more of a more inclusive theme park. Because I would feel that Knott's was like a locals park. Like that was a park where if you're local, that was your home park.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, in the last 6-7 years, it's become much more of like, oh, you got to go to Knott's. You got to check out this. You gotta go to Not Scared. You have to try these things. You have to try the Boysenberry Festival. So. And you, I mean, you and your staff are a big part of that. So I noticed.
We have felt that change. Yeah. Thank you for so much for mentioning that and noticing. We at the park have felt that and seen and felt that change also in the entertainment that we're providing and putting out there. It's a whole different level than what was done in the past. So it's nice to step it up and step it in the direction that it's gone in. It's just been a blessing.
But it's also kind of old school too, because like I remember last summer I got the DJ for you guys for summer nights, and I had a blast. Yep. Like honestly, one of the best summer jobs I could ever have.
Such a great job, right?
Yeah, no, really, and like it was a great spot where I was DJing. But like, I remember that. It's so
funny when people would ask me what summer nights is, and I'd be like, it's that block party that you have every year.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. But you don't have to clean up after.
Yeah.
And you're right. People aren't traipsing through your house to use your bathroom.
Well, you know what it reminded me of? Like when I look back at like there's like the Sandlot, the movie The Sandlot.
Yes.
They have a big summer 4th of July block party, and like it looks so fun. Look like the parties I wish I had when I was in my childhood.
Yeah.
And then like summer nights, it's like it was that, but amped to like 11.
On steroids.
Yeah. And I love you guys had the fire pits that are out there for s'mores.
Yeah.
Like I brought my friends' kids, and like they loved it. And all the little lawn games, like, and it's like, here's the thing, that summer, I think that summer was a for many theme park enthusiasts or theme park or theme parks in general, it was a very fearful summer because you were going up against Disney's Galaxy's Edge, which was like the big thing everyone's talking about. But I love Disney. I'm a buy a theme park guy. I work for both, and I love both.
You're an equal opportunity lover.
Yeah. Like many of the entertainers I work for, not like we love both.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just different. It's a different feel. But with like Disney, I mean, I noticed because I work both parks. Like there was definitely like Knott was killing the game last summer, like attendance wise, and like just, and it was old school fun. We had live music, and we had a food festival. We had like the backyard barbecue feel. Like we didn't need the big attraction. We didn't need like the big property of Star Wars. It was just good old summer fun, and like you can't, like, that's not something that you can just like profit off of. Is something you have to really like just communally, like, this is gonna be fun. Like this, like when like, it's like when your dad says like, come on the family party, you're gonna have a good time, and then you're like oh, I don't want a dad, like it's not cool, and then when you go there and you have so much fun with all your friends and your family, it's like, and you forget like, okay, dad was right. This is a better choice than playing video games,
well, and it's old school fun. It is literally like that. It's the perfect comparison, is that I'd rather sit in my room and play video games than go out there and play cards with my family or friends,
or ring toss,
right? Or ring toss, right? or an old fashioned derby with the cars and the tossing bean bags,
Mhm.
cornhole and
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. It was like it's Disney went high tech and we went completely low tech.
Yeah. Well, not only
Absolutely no tech.
Summer Nights, but also the Ghost, not Ghost. Is it Ghost of Ghost Town Alive.
Ghost Town Alive.
Ghost Town Alive was an awesome experience for guests. I think that was so cool. I love it when you guys bring out the characters and interact with everybody.
Spectacular.
Yeah, it's all improv. It's all like it's a beautiful thing for the actors to be able to have that much fun with the guest and kind of have that freedom, but also like it's like small intertwining stories and stuff. Like
right.
I feel like it's a taste of so much more that I don't know what you're developing, but it's a taste of more I think you guys can do. And I really think a lot of new, like, because I remember when Galaxy's Edge was like a big thing, like it was a big thing was like narrative, make part of the story, and like I kind of feel like everyone's testing those waters, but I feel like Knott is the only one that's really doing it well, because Disney they dropped it. They've not been trying. Here the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, like there's no narrative. You're just kind of like, but the actors are giving them their all, and like you're in that world. But like, Ghost Town Live, it does feel alive. Like it doesn't feel as restrictive because you have you have your own properties. You have like the limitless possibility of creating your own stories, which other parks don't, because they're like, okay, we need to make sure that we stay within this storyline and within the movie franchise we have. You guys have so much freedom to just make stories and not last year because it didn't happen, but the Not Scare from the year before, I went to that one, and the whole theming and the story with I think Sarah Marshall, you had like there was a story that was going on that was like really cool because you wanted to figure out what's this curse, what's all this, and like and I think that's where the Knotts today is excelling, and it's not by doing like high tech rides or anything or some wacky thing. It's just old school entertainment that still works, and the guests responding to that, which is really cool.
Well, it's both a blessing and it's just a total blessing to let me explain this way. Snow White sings these songs.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins sings these songs.
Yeah.
Peter does this, Wendy does that, where the sheriff of Ghost Town can fall in love with Goldie, or, he can run away with the bad guys, whatever, storyline we want to, because they are completely our own creation, and that's a blessing. Because it's limitless because there's no restrictions, so that just gives so much opportunity. And there's some storylines coming up that are gonna be doozy.
I can't wait. Gonna solve some mysteries.
And create some more.
Thank you so much for catching this episode of Unplugged. Now there's more Unplugged available for you, not only on YouTube but also in podcast form on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Pandora, or anywhere podcasts are found. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We got more coming up. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to be safe, be kind, and be you, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Peace.